there, I'm Amy Connell. Welcome to Graced Health, the podcast for women who want simple and grace-filled ways to take care of themselves and enjoy a little chocolate in the process, because you know I like my chocolate. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who wants you to know your eating, movement, and body don't have to be perfect. You just need to be able to do what you're called to do. There's this podcast I listen to called Grace in Progress with licensed counselor Brianna Leach. You may remember her from season 3. If you haven't listened to that episode, make sure you go back and listen. But she structures the whole show kind of like we're just sitting at a table having coffee, and it's just like a little micro counseling session over that coffee with your therapist. Well, today I feel like I sat down with my dentist and had coffee, even though she doesn't drink coffee. I brought her on to talk about our dental health as we get older, and I have to tell you, I did not expect to have so much fun and just have so much laughter in this conversation. I just was grinning for so long after it. The first thing you need to know about Dr. Chi is she has a fear of going to the dentist, and we dig right into that. She's a mom of 5 children. You're going to love her word for it. And she is an amazing dentist who loves God. Dr. Chi is particularly passionate about dental anxiety. She loves to educate patients about oral health because an informed patient is a better patient, and you will definitely hear this today. Dr. Chi taught me why I shouldn't brush my teeth right after having sugar. Yes, I do have some sugar sometimes. And how long to wait after drinking coffee to brush my teeth, which she kind of helps me understand. And then we translate that into my own little fitness language. Now, before we get to Dr. Chi, I do have a question. Do you ever feel shame because you're not following all of the so-called rules of healthy living? Yes, I'm putting those in quotes. Would you like to break some of those rules with me? My new free download combats several health rules we've heard all our lives and gives you a bonus rule to keep. Go get yours at gracedhealth.com/bad rules. It's a free download. Okay, pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, or put on your walking shoes if that's what you like to do, and join us in this delightful conversation. Let's bring on Dr. Chi. Dr. Chi, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me today.
Oh, it's so fun to have you here, and for me not to be looking up at you while you're hovering over me.
It's a blessing to look you face to face, too, as opposed to looking down on you.
Totally. Though I do have to admit, I felt like I needed to brush my teeth before we got on.
Oh, okay. I get that a lot. That's why. You don't have to.
Okay, I have a lot of questions for today, but I wanted to start with this one.
Okay.
Did I read correctly that you have a fear of going to the dentist?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Very correctly. Okay, so I am from Nigeria, and in Nigeria, typically when I grew up, which was back in the 70s, so I was born in the 70s, and so we only went to the dentist to pull teeth. So there wasn't like a routine checkup. In fact, I cannot tell you of any dentist that I remember. So because of that, there's a fear that is like you're going to go get your teeth pulled, right? And so even when I came to this country, and I came like in my 20s, but when I came to this country, I still had that fear. I never really went. I didn't have the money to go, even if I had to. But then eventually when I got these 5 kids, I felt like I was running an empire, right? And so if you had to heckle me and lay me back, that was not my thing. Because I felt like, when you sit on a dental chair, you kind of lay people back. We do this thing where we move them back, and so like that going down, I felt like I was going down. So it's like, who's going to take care of my kids? I'm going down. So it's ridiculous. But yeah, that was my thing. I really didn't go. And so the very first time is funny that I went to the dentist was when I was pregnant, and I had this thing. Now I know what it is because I'm a dentist now. It's like a granuloma, and it had to be taken out. And so they said, do you want me to brush it? Do you want to get it clean? And I'm like, no. They just took that out. And so the second time that I went to the dentist was when I went to dental school.
No
That's funny.
kidding.
Yes. And I got there, and there was this one girl, she was looking for people to take a board exam with. And so she said, I'm going to clean your teeth for free if I can find a cavity that I can use my board exam. I'm like, heck, I'll just go get my teeth cleaned. So she went in there, she looked, she's like, oh my gosh, you want to be a dentist? I said, yeah. She said, when was the last time you cleaned your teeth? I said, never. She said, oh my gosh. And so she like cleaned all my teeth, but because I cannot have a good diet, I didn't have a cavity. So, but that
Really?
was my very first time. So in the midst of that debris. And so she's like, well, can I just use you for a prep? And so she tried to do something, girl. It went down so fast. So I decided from that day onwards that I was going to get my teeth cleaned, even though I was afraid of going to the dentist. But yes, I am.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. So I don't know that you covered a lot of things that I kind of want to talk about today. So let's start with this. I don't know all of your story. I mean, obviously I meant you when I was in that chair, going back. There she goes.
Mhm.
But I do know that your path to dentistry was a little different than a lot of people where, they graduate from high school, they go to undergrad, they go to dental school, they join a practice, maybe they start a practice or, buy
Mhm.
something or whatever. Yours is a little different than that. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, mine is way totally different. So I went to undergrad. I went to Houston Baptist University. After that, I went for a PhD at Baylor College of Medicine here in Houston. And so my goal was to graduate and become a college professor, because I had all these kids, and my husband he had his own business, he was doing okay. So I felt like I could just go teach college, like, a few days a week and pick up my kids, because I just didn't know how to stay home and be like a stay-home mom.
Hmm.
But things changed. There was a family dynamic that changed at that point. And so, but I usually take my kids to the dentist because everybody said do that. And I knew better, right? So I take them to this one dentist. Her name is Dr. Pham. She's actually still here at Lexington and Murphy Road. And so whenever I go there, like if you've known me, like if you come to my office, my presence is like everywhere. I'm constantly bubbly, like just I'm all over the place. Okay, it's just me. I've always been like that. So whenever I go there, everybody knows me. It's like, gee, oi. But that particular day, I was crying. I was so sad. And she's like, is that Chi? I'm like, yeah. She's like, what happened? I started telling her things were changing and I didn't know what to do. She said, you know what? You have a personality of a dentist. I said, girl, what? She said, yeah, you are going to be a great dentist. I never heard that before. Remember, I never even went myself.
Yeah.
So then she called me into her office. She's like, look, we are going to get you to dental school. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. I said, how are we going to do that? She said, okay, so what is your GPA in school? At that time, I was graduating with a PhD, right? She said,
Okay.
what was your GPA? I said, my GPA is 3.98. She said, you have better GPA than anyone else. We're going to get you there. I said, okay. So right there, and then I'm not even kidding you. She pulled out the application. We filled it out. I hadn't taken the DAT, which is the entrance that you take to go to dental school. She said, "Okay, the application is deadline is in a week." I said, "Oh." She said, "Yeah, you're going." I said, "Okay." She said, "I want to get more women in this profession, and your personality fits this. Whatever you're going through right now, we're gonna get to it later, but we gotta do this." Literally, that was how I got into dental school. She applied for the 3 dental schools for me. She gave me a place to go take the entrance, and that was it. We mailed it through DHL. I'm telling you, that's how we did it.
I'm just
So
shaking my head. Like,
then, yeah, and she even told me, she said, when you finish, you can take my practice. And believe it or not, she actually made good to that. But the thing is, I felt like I needed to have my own practice that had my name on it, because I had, learned differently. She had been practicing now I think she's been practicing for like 30 years now. But that was like, 15 then when I graduated. And she said, you can take up the office. I'm done. And he's going to take care of you and your kids, and you're going to be okay. And that was it. So, yeah. And then, so we sent the application and they started calling me and they said, Yeah, but do you have the DAT? I said, I'm working on that. So yeah, that's how I got into dental school. So
Wow.
yeah, I got into two of the three dental school. I didn't get into the one in Houston. I got into San Antonio and Dallas.
Okay.
And so the one in Houston put me on a waiting list. So that's how I went to dental school.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
What an incredible person to really be able to see your strengths and see
Yeah.
where you shine and
Shoot.
guide you in just in that moment. I mean, that's
Yes.
what a God moment.
And that's what I do now though. I heckle women too. Like just
Yeah.
like today.
Heckle women.
I'd be like, what do you want to be? You should be a dentist. Because I think this is a very wonderful profession, especially if you like people. Like
Right.
as you can see, I didn't even like teeth, right?
Uh-huh.
It wasn't like teeth was my best thing. It was just the people. She saw that personality in people. And today, like every morning I wake up and I pray for my patients. I never pray for their teeth or the money I'm gonna make.
Yeah.
I pray
For
for
the
people.
Yeah. Well, and that's really evident too. I mean, when when I walked in your office and I just walked in I don't even know what drew me to your office when I was needing to, because I needed a new dentist simply because my insurance didn't take the one that I used previously, and walked in and I just felt this peace and this
Oh,
love
thank you.
within it. And you had great music and great
Oh.
signs throughout. And so I was wondering how, I know in your personal life you are a Jesus follower, and
Mhm.
I was wondering how that parlays into your relationship with your patients. I mean, obviously, not everybody who comes in is going to share the same faith as you,
Mhm.
but how does that work and weave its way into your day-to-day practice?
I think that even when you're not, so the thing about being a Christian, I believe, is the peace that God brings.
Hmm.
Okay, I remember before, so my parents are Christians, but then before Christianity become my thing, right? Which is what I pray for everyone, and which is what I pray for my kids. Is that when you become a Christian, that's the peace that God brings that passes all understanding, right?
Yeah.
And so, okay, so in the Bible, it said that when Stephen was being stoned, right? They looked at his face, and it looked like the face of an angel, right? None of us have seen a face of an angel before, but
Hmm.
people saw his face and they said it looked like a face of an angel, right?
Oh,
Nobody has
yeah.
seen peace before, but we know what peace looks like. Even if you're not a Christian, you do know that.
Right.
And so when you come into an atmosphere, and I get what you said, I get that all the time, but even from people who are not Christians, right? They still get that. They still get the sense that I can get my teeth done here. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I pray over that office. I pray over that. So what I'm trying to say is where God is, people can tell.
Yeah.
They may not be able to tell God, but they'll be able to sense the peace that is there,
Yes.
which
Amen.
is what they like, even when you're not a Christian. And then they begin to ask me, what is this? It evokes a question. It makes you ask, what is different about this place? And then that's when the conversation starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, all of us as a Christian, we have a platform that we have to use and profess Christ. And you have to make that intentional and let people ask you the question
Hmm.
so that you can explain.
Totally. Totally.
Mhm.
I've done, I'm not in one right now, but I was in a Bible study for like 8 years. And I remember one thing I found myself saying over and over in the various studies is, you know, my hope is that people look at me and they may know nothing about me and they may know nothing
Mhm.
about my faith, but they look at her and just exactly what you said, which is
Mhm.
something's different about her.
Exactly.
And maybe not being able to say, and obviously if you don't know what words are used to describe me, you can't articulate that, but I want them to feel something different. And I doubt I always live up to that. I mean,
We
but
hope to.
but it
That's
but
our
it's
hope.
something, yeah, to hope to do for sure,
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
um okay, can we get into some nitty-gritty teeth stuff real quickly?
Okay.
Okay. So last time I was in,
Hmm.
I don't think I had any cavities. I don't think I
Okay.
did. But you pointed out a couple teeth and you said, these are going to need some attention soon. And I think
Hmm.
you might have used nicer words in this, but basically what I heard and what I internalized is, Amy, your teeth are getting old. And
Hmm.
we're going to have to
Okay.
do something about that. And most of
Okay.
my listeners are in their, 30s, 40s, 50s. So talk to me about what we can expect from our dental health. I guess I know if I would have really thought about it, I would have said, well, yeah, your teeth get old just like everything else. And my body
Hmm.
seems to be feeling really old right now. But what should we be doing anything different at this stage in our life?
No and yes. Okay. The no is in the sense that the reason why I say no is um, if you have been taking care of your teeth all your whole entire life, I think you should still continue to do the same thing, right?
Okay, right.
But just like you said, things get old. And there's this thing where people come in and I say, okay, you have a cavity here. And they go, well, I haven't had a cavity before. And I want to tell them, that comes a day, like it's not like things change, okay, situations change, life gets old, but the yes is that some people, the yes part of it is that some people, and this is another example that I use on people too, when they say you need to do a breast exam, this is a very good example. Okay, so I go to the doctor and they say, well, every morning you need to do a breast exam, and I say, okay, well, I'm going to do a breast exam. I don't
Mhm.
even know what that is. Like, I don't know. Should I grab it this side or that side or this side, or, what should I be doing? Right?
Sure. Uh-huh.
That's kind of how brush your teeth is. Okay, we say, go brush your teeth.
Uh-huh.
Okay, your mom
Uh-huh.
just gives you a brush and say, go brush your teeth. Do you even know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Like, have we even thought about what is it? What does it mean? And some people even tell, I brush 5 times a day. I say, oh, darling, that is too much. But then it still looks like this. It just means there's a way to do something.
Okay.
If you come to the dentist every day and you have cavities and you say, okay, my diet is good, if that is good, yes, let's talk about how. Let's learn how. Many people never really knew how to brush their teeth. And you're probably going to ask me, how do we brush it? It's something that whenever you go to your dentist, and I always ask people, like if I see there's a lot of issues, I would say, have you been taught how to brush your teeth? Because there's a
Is that I feel
methodology
like
to it.
that probably takes people aback. Like,
Mhm.
well, I don't need to be taught. I already brush
Yes.
my teeth. I already know how.
I've gotten this so much that I've started writing a book about it. Like I've actually started writing a book, and the title of the book is How to Brush Your Teeth, something your mom never taught you. Because I think it's important.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Mhm.
So we're going to buy the book and find out. That's going to be, so this is the
Can I
teaser.
finish? Now that I said it, I have to finish it now.
Yes. I get that.
Yeah. So yeah, things that are passionate to me, I try to write a book about it because I think that most people really do not know how. And I've been trying to make this a video, but I'm not really good at making videos. One day I will.
You're not very good
Just
at what?
making videos. Like
Oh,
just, I do a lot on Facebook, but you see me, I don't really do videos because I'm over there being like, oh my gosh, I don't look good on this.
Dr.
You know,
Chi, you have 5 kids. I am pretty sure one of them can help you with videos. You have a beautiful face and beautiful smile and beautiful hair. You should be on video more.
okay. You say
I'm
that now,
serious.
but okay.
No, you can get one of the if you're feeling like you need to be doing videos, I bet one of your 5 children can help you.
Or if
But
they're not over there judging me, be like, mommy, oh, mommy,
I
have you
know.
had teenage daughters before? Oh, they are just Judy, number 10. Be like, mommy, oh.
No, I don't. I only have boys, so I just kind of get the head shake and the eye roll and oh, mom.
Yeah, see, they don't talk much, but these people, they lay it down. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, they're like, oh, maybe I should be doing this.
Okay, well, so this was one of the questions that I had. I mean, like 5 kids, an empire. I've never heard that, but that's so true. I mean,
It's an empire.
yes,
Like,
it's an empire. And you own your own business. So talk to me
yes.
about, I mean, like, I'm sure there's a million things that you do to
Mhm.
manage that, but what's 1 or 2 ways that you manage I mean, those are two huge roles and
Mhm.
responsibilities.
Mhm.
So help us out a little bit, because that's a lot. I mean, you are here and they all of your children are breathing and they're alive and they're fed. I mean, what? And you're
Breathing.
still smiling. You're doing something right.
Oh, praise God. I wish, I mean, I hope. So the thing about that is in owning my own business. So when I first graduated, I worked for other people, right?
Right.
But and then at some point, so I told you I moved to Dallas. So I stayed in Dallas, I practiced in Dallas. And then when it was time for me to come back to Houston, I started doing a job with an agency where they'll fly me into like a rural areas to go do some heavy duty dentistry. I would go in there. I remember one place where I would go. There's only one dentist in the whole town. It's San Angelo, Texas. You don't
Okay.
even know that. There's only one dental office, and they treat kids. And then there's one oral surgeon that comes once a week or something.
Okay.
And so then these people open the practice that they will fly me, pay for my flight back and forth to Dallas, and I will go there, and there'll be a whole bunch of people standing on the door with hand in their mouth, like they're in pain. So I would pull teeth all day, standing. I'll pull maybe uh 50 patients a day. And
Wow.
then they'll fly me back to Dallas. I'll go pick up my kids at school. And then and I do root canals and extractions all day, and I will go back. And what that did for me was give me, and I remember I would go there and they'll be like, "Where's the doctor?" I'm like, "You're looking at her," but they haven't seen anybody who looks like me, who is a doctor or something. I don't know. But what that did for me was it gave me, if I wasn't even passionate about humanity at that point, it had to kick in at that point. Like
Mm.
I would go home, I would think about all these people and how poor they are. I mean, I'm from Africa and we talk about poverty in Africa, but that over there was something, you know?
Wow.
And so that gave me the empathy. And then when we practice dentistry in the city, especially by chain dentistry, like, I don't want to mention names, but the ones that you see all the places, right?
Hmm.
And so the way that they practice is they really, make people do what they shouldn't do, especially dentists, just for the name of money, right?
Okay.
And so I decided that I can't do that, especially as a Christian. I can't do that. And whenever I joined their practice, I used to join their practice as the only dentist that's there because I want to be able to guide what happens to my patients until I leave. So, but coming to Houston is a bigger city than Dallas. I wouldn't be able to get that kind of autonomy, right?
Hmm.
So I decided to open my own practice because I wanted people to be treated the way they should be treated,
Yeah.
not the way their money looks. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Another thing also was because I ran this empire of kids, I wanted to have some time off. Like I'm usually off on Wednesdays. So if I have a PTA meeting or something I had to attend for the kids' school, I can do that. So that was the reason why I had to opt for just owning my own practice and being able to do it the way that I do it. And then I can close my own hours because I open a little bit late. I open at 10 because I have to drop my kids off to school. I have to work out too because I have to work out. I have to pray in the morning. These things are things that I want to be put in place before
Yeah.
before I come to work. So it helps me that way. And then I market myself too. So it's just, it kind of works out better for me in that way. And I don't do anything else. Like I don't. I wish I did, but these are the only things I do. I just do mom, Christian, dentistry. Done.
Yeah. That's enough. That's
Yeah.
enough for sure.
And then
Yeah.
I hang out with women once in a while. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, and so what I hear you saying is you are very intentional about your time
Yes.
and where you give that, and then really making sure that you can meet the needs of your kids, like in
Hmm.
your off days. And I know you're really busy on your Wednesdays, and we're recording this on a Wednesday, so thank
That's
you.
fine. That's
Thank you.
fine. The thing that I do with my life though is that I'm present in every moment. So like
Yeah.
if I'm doing this interview with you, I'm doing this interview with you. If I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids. If I'm doing dentistry, I'm doing dentistry. I don't I don't do too many things at one time. So
Yeah.
I just give my time at that moment. And when I'm done, I go to sleep. I don't drink coffee, I don't drink alcohol, I just sleep.
Yeah.
When I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping. That's
Yeah.
just the way that I run my life, kind of. And you saw, like in the morning when you were calling me, I said, I can't answer now because right now I'm working out.
Right.
I'm not going to be looking at my phone. No, I don't do that. So it's
Yeah.
okay.
It's funny. I have one of my very best friends is actually going to be on the show either later. I don't know when this one's going to be airing, but she owns her own audiology practice
Okay.
and has done really well with that. And I have recognized the same thing in her, that she is so present in the moment, and you would never know all that she has going on, because when you're with her, the phone is not even in sight, or if it's in
Mm-hmm.
sight, it's upside down and she's locked in and you're in the conversation. And it's easy to forget how many other plates she's spinning. And it sounds like you're doing the same. I mean, you're clearly doing the same thing. You're sitting here talking to me, and I know you've got a million other things going on. And so I think that's a really great takeaway for all of us. And I know it's something that I need to be better about, is not spinning at least the plates in the back of my mind, and just really being present in whatever it is that I'm doing. Actually, now that I'm talking about this, I wrote a blog post about that. I can put it in the show notes about right now, like how I know what it
Mm-hmm.
was. It was called How I'm Trying to Think Like a Man, because men are so much more focused on like the file that they're working in and
Yeah,
not
they do that. They
multitasking.
do that more than women do. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Obviously I need to go back and reread what I wrote.
Yeah, I said that's the man in me. That's men do that very well, more
Yeah.
than women do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's okay. So you talked about working out, and I get the sense, so correct me if I'm wrong, that
Mm-hmm.
you have really developed a strong focus on your physical health. I know you're working out a lot more. Is that something that, number one, I guess, is that something that you recently restarted? Have you done that before and you just took a break? Or, five kids maybe took a little bit of time and so you weren't able to do that? Or, it kind of talk to me a little bit about that, because I love seeing all your pictures that you post on Wednesday mornings of all your workout stuff.
Um, no, I would say that at this moment in my life, I decided to celebrate myself more. That's what it is. That's why you see it the way you see it now.
Okay, you have to repeat that. I'm going to
So
take a little. Yeah, say that again, because that was good.
I said I decided to celebrate myself a little bit more and to use myself to motivate people. Okay, that's kind of what happened. But what the time I started working out was when I had my daughter, 2001, my first daughter,
Okay.
and I had her premature, and I golly, like everything hurt. You know how like you just had a baby and you can't even get out of bed. I don't know if it happened to people, but it happens to me a lot. Like it's just excruciating painful. So one day, and I do have this. What do they call that? When you have a baby and you have this, what is that thing called again?
Postpartum
Postnatal,
postpartum
postpartum
depression.
depression. I
Okay.
do have that, right?
Okay.
I like it's just something for me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
God.
Common.
So
So
that
common.
day, I decided to. I told my husband at the time. I said, "You watch this kid. I'm just gonna go to the mall." Like I felt like I was just being engrossed or something. So I left this girl and went to the mall. I walked around for an hour. I saw this one lady. She had like 3 kids and she looked so amazing. I asked her, I said, what do you do? Like I cornered her on a corner. I said, what do you do? She said, oh, I work out. I said, where do you work out? She said, I go to YMCA. I said, girl, I gotta find this place. So I came back. I said, I told him I was gonna go find YMCA. She said, you don't know what YMCA is? I said, no, I'm not from here, but I'm gonna find this place out today. So I went to YMCA and they had classes. And I started participating in the classes, but every time I go home, my body hurts. So
Uh-huh.
then I asked them, like I told you, I like to do everything I do well. Like if I'm not doing it, I'm not doing it. But if I'm doing it, I'm doing it well. I'm giving it my all, even if I'm not good at it. I'm just gonna do it. So I asked them, I said, do you guys have a class? They said, yeah, we have a summer program for um, personal trainers. I said, I'm about to become one. So I so
Okay, so be careful what we mention to you, Dr. Chi, because you're going to go do it
yeah.
and master
So
it.
I said, here you go. So I signed up for this class. I took this class. Now, what this class taught me was it taught me how to have correct forms. And,
Yes.
and when I do anything, I'm not going to hurt anymore. So I took the class and it changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't trained anyone yet except myself, but it kind of helped me to kind of know how to do stuff. So I started working out. So every time I'll have, I just walked out literally almost every day, but not at the way that I do it now. Right, because I never added weight. What I did now was I added a little bit more weight. I thought I told you when you came, right?
Uh-huh.
I added more weight to my training. I used to do a lot of cardio before, but what had changed now, I started adding a little bit more weight. But I've always been, kind of working out all the time. But I celebrate myself a little bit more because of all that I think I've gone through and what God has brought me through.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what, and I wasn't on Facebook before, but now I am. So
Okay.
that's what happened. Yeah.
And I think too, it's such a great example for your daughters. I mean, you have four daughters, one son, right?
Mm-hmm,
And how having them see their mom just celebrating themselves. I'm gonna that's gonna go into a meme right now. I'm just telling you, right? But but doing that and taking care of yourself, and I work with a lot of teen girls, and I think that that's just one of the best things that they can do is just see their mom, not stressing out about freaking out about their size or, oh gosh, I ate this food and I shouldn't have, but just finding this love of movement and enjoying what you do and celebrating what you can do and what God allows you to do. I think that's so impactful for your four girls.
Amen. We do that a lot, and they work out with me too. It's just that they don't want to be on video because they don't like Facebook.
Yeah,
but
it's for old people, of course.
Yeah, it's old people. So they do work out with me, and in my house, we don't really say, "Oh, we're not going to eat this." We just say we're going to eat this because this makes us feel this way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we eat this more than we eat this, but we eat everything.
Yeah. Do
Mm-hmm.
you? I'm curious. Are you pretty regimented about girls or kids? You floss your teeth. You've got to floss. You've got to, like the dental. Because my kids will roll their eyes so much at health stuff that I say. So I'm wondering do your kids roll their eyes at teeth stuff that you tell them?
Well, see, the thing is, they come in, they be like, "Mom, you need to look at this." I said, "You need to show up in my office. I don't look at teeth in my house."
Oh, you have good boundaries. I like it.
Yeah, they were like, "Mommy, could you look? I think this is my wisdom teeth." I said, "Make an appointment." Because in my house, I don't want to be a dentist in my house. I want to be a mom in my house. But, I still have the ones that don't brush their teeth. So when they come for that dental appointment, which we make, I point out their cavities. And I'll tell them, this is what I promised them. If you get cavity because you're not brushing your teeth or you didn't you don't need to be eating. Mm-hmm. When you come in, if I take the cavity out, I'm going to numb you on the other side. And then I dig the cavity on the other side. So you get the feeling of a shot and get the pain of me taking it out. So I think that works.
Just for your kids, though. That's not how it is for the other
patients. That's just for my kids.
Do they know this? Do they know that
I get... they get a shot on the other side and get the cavity taken out on the other side. So it hurts both ways.
Oh my gosh, you're cracking me up.
No, that's not for my patient. That's for my kids.
I have to say, because there's a lot of local people who listen to this, or there's a decent amount.
No, especially my son.
He does not make you feel the pain if you are the patient. Only her child.
No, only my children. But we joke about it. But they're pretty good about brushing their teeth.
Yeah. Okay, so I've heard you mention a couple times about the food I eat is pretty good. I didn't have any, have very many cavities. Now, I mean, I think everybody knows there's a strong correlation with sugar and our teeth. But is there? And this is something I truly don't know. The quality of food beyond that, does that impact the health of your teeth?
Yes. Okay. So we do know, everybody knows about sugar bug, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you have a lot of sugar in your diet, like if you like cookies and you like, gummy bears, if you like stuff like that a lot, right?
Yeah.
It will show up on your teeth. So this is what I tell people. If you want to forget to do something, right? I want you, if you have to forget to do something. Okay, so you do have to brush your teeth twice a day, right?
Right.
Okay. Forget to eat your cookies. Okay, just forget that. Like if you can forget that, that would be nice. And then forget to brush once. Like you just brush once and forget the cookies. I'll be good.
Okay.
So the more, remember how I told you that when I went to dental school, like I had a whole bunch of stuff, but then they had to clean it out and there was still no cavity in there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so if your diet is good, even if you don't brush very well, you're still going to be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some people say, oh, well, but I brush 4 times a day. So here's how that works. Now, nobody taught us this in dental school, but this is what I've seen so far from my practice. Okay, so people that, and somebody says, after you eat, go brush your teeth. Please do not do that. After you eat sugar, don't go brush your teeth immediately after you eat
Really?
sugar.
Tell me why.
No. Here's why. You see that brush that you have, right? So let's say the sugar is on one side and you just go and you take your brush, and what you're going to do is you're going to put it all over the place.
Okay.
So I don't want you to do that.
You're just
I want you
spreading
to
all
go
the sugar.
rinse. Just go rinse it out first before you start to brush, if you're even going to do that.
Okay.
And then you take the same brush and you put it back and you put it back on again. It doesn't, like, brushing too many times isn't what is going to help you. Is eating less sugar if you can avoid that.
Okay.
Can I say it again?
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
because it's a passion of mine. I don't like people coming in and there's like a whole bunch of cavities. What I'm thinking about at that point is, okay, so you're 40 or even some of them are 20, and I'm looking at this tooth. Is it going to take us to 60?
Okay.
You know, because, you know, when we start doing the cavities, and people would think that once we fill the cavity today, then we're done. No, because there's still tooth left. So make your diet sugarless a little bit. Just cut down on the sugar. And if you eat them, please go rinse out a little bit and wait a little bit before you go brush, so that you don't spread the whole, because you take the brush and you even put it in the crevices of the tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go again and you do the same thing. And you say, well, I brushed too much. No. Decrease your sugar.
Okay.
And you can brush less.
Okay. But if you are having the sugar, rinse your mouth out first before you brush.
Rinse your mouth out first.
Okay.
Just do a very good rinsing and then start to brush.
Okay. And I read somewhere or heard somewhere something about how you need to wait. I know you're not a coffee drinker, but I am. So am I supposed to wait a certain amount of time after drinking coffee before I brush my teeth?
Yes.
How long?
I would say give it like 30 minutes and then rinse out and then brush.
And that is because why?
Because that's sweetener in the sugar that I don't want you to just put inside of your gum and just mix it all up and just like.
But if I don't have sugar in my coffee, is that an issue?
But then again, for the coffee part, now this isn't something. Some of these things are not thought the way they are, but it's just from experience, right? Okay. So now at that point, if your coffee was hard, let's not bruise the tooth at that point. Okay. Let's just let it sit. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
After eating, let's not just rush immediately after we eat or whatever we did. Let's give the tooth room to heal back, and then we can go back brushing.
Kind of like giving your muscles 48 hours before. Not to say wait 48 hours before brushing, but
kind of like that. Or like when we do exercise and we just like stretch a little bit. Just let's stretch a little bit.
Okay. Now you're speaking my language. I get it now. Yeah. Kind of I call it putting yourself back together. So
yeah, exactly.
Letting the tooth put itself back together before we go.
Exactly. That's the word. Yeah. Let's just let it recuperate a little bit.
Got it. Okay. As I was thinking about this interview and questions and all of that, you know how sometimes a memory will come up and like you haven't had it in years and years and years. So I had this memory pop up that I have to tell you about when I was in third grade, 10 years old. And it was like, we had a student of the week. It was the apple of my eye. And you had to fill out this thing about what your name is and if you have any pets and your family and all this stuff. And so one of the things was, I like to ... Now, at that time, I grew up dancing. I did tap, I did jazz. I was like, dance was that was my thing. And I did not put dancing. I put, I like to ... go to the dentist.
Oh, already.
I had
You're my hero.
The dentist who I grew up going to, and my mother kept going to him until he retired. at like 70. I mean, he was probably between 70 and 75, and he just now retired. And this was when this was in, 1985.
That would
And
be me.
yeah. But he had fantastic hygienists, and I loved them. And so I did that. And then that week happened to be like the open house, like the parents, where the parents go for the night. And my mother said all of the parents were just snickering at, I like to go to the dentist. She was like, you couldn't have put I like to dance on there. And I'm like,
Oh, who knew? That got you ready for this moment, girl.
I like to talk to Dr. Chi.
But you see, jokes aside, though, this is the one thing that I want to do. Like, I want people to just, go home and just say, I love being there. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my thing. I think that when we do things well, like I believe that man did things well, people will always remember. Yeah. And it gives like a lasting impression on kids. And I have many dentists actually went into dentistry because of this. I would say 50% of dentists went to dentistry because they love going to the dentist.
Really? Yeah.
Yes. Like
that's
my
great.
best friend, like on fourth grade, she decided she was going to be a dentist because she liked her dentist.
Oh, wow. Wow. Huh. Well, that is good. And it kind of goes back to that. I wish I could attribute who said it, but people don't remember what you say but they remember how you feel. And so believing, yeah. Was it Maya Angelou? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think it was Maya Angelou. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's such a great thing. And you definitely do that. You make people feel great at your dentist.
That. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And especially when you put the shot in the tooth that is you're working on the cavity.
I try to talk a lot and distract them so they don't know. Even when I lay the chair back, I try to distract people when I'm laying them back because I know it's my thing. So there's not like like a moment of silence where because that will freak me out.
Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. I have two more questions that I am just now starting to ask my guests. They are two very different questions. So we're going to go with this. Number one is, do you have a Bible verse that is extra meaningful to you? Maybe not necessarily a favorite one, but just one that really is meaningful to you.
Yes, I like Psalm 91. It's one of the verses that is in my office, actually.
Okay.
So Psalm 91, verse 1, it says, those who dwell in the secret place shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. For me, I have the thing for myself, like I would never pick up a phone. I wouldn't even answer my kids every morning until I've really done my morning devotion. Yeah. I feel like when God wants us to give him the first fruit, it is the first fruit of everything, first fruit of our time. And I think time for us here, I think especially in America, time is the most important thing to us. And so I want to give God my first fruit every morning. And so I feel like God honors that. And to me, if I didn't do anything, if I didn't tell my kids anything else in life, I want them to take that away for them, for any of my friends to say, honor God first. And he will put you under the shadow of his wings. There's no place else I want to be than under the shadow of God's wings. Like when you, it's not like we're not going to go through storm. We're not going to go through life challenges. But when I'm going through that, and I know that I'm under the shadow of his wings, it just makes me feel good. So that's one of the things I like.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you. I'll definitely quote that down in the show notes. Okay. And then the second question, I am strangely fascinated by tattoos. I don't have any. I've just never really felt like there was anything I wanted to put on my body, but I'm fascinated by them. And I have found that people have really great stories oftentimes if they have one. So I was wondering if you had any tattoos, and if so, would you mind sharing a story about one or of them if you have one? And if not, if you had to get one, what would you get and where?
I'm not a big fan of tattoo just because I'm from Nigeria and it's not our thing, right?
Okay. Okay.
But at some point I have thought about it. I've thought about getting a tattoo because I have 4 C-sections. So I have like a really big whoosh over
Uh-huh.
over my
Uh-huh.
stomach. And so, when I work out and I'm like, "Oh, I need to cover this, but there's this vain thing in me that says I want to just have a tattoo. But if I had to get one, it would say Jesus is Lord. It
Mm.
would just be a huge one over my stomach that would say Jesus is
Jesus is
Lord. But then the thing I don't like about it, well, the thing right behind my mind, I'm not even sure that is a good thing, like it's true, but it's just that I feel like my body is a temple of God. And so, when you run around and your grandma is like, don't put a graffiti on there. So I feel like if I put a tattoo, it'd be like a graffiti on this temple of God right here. So I don't know.
Okay. Okay. I can see that. And then I've seen people who have had some amazing stories and really
Mhm.
are able to witness through their tattoos or through their body art or
Mhm.
whatever. So they're just really fascinating to me.
And the other thing too is like I'm a chicken though. I don't know that, like even like stuff I want to do, like I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, so I have, every time when you have those kids, you have like this one patch here, like you like, I wish somebody could suck this out, like that.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not now, but like way back in the day, right? But I just don't like pain. Like I don't know that I'll get through it. I don't know if I'm gonna sit there and have somebody like whoosh, 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 like, oh gosh. And plus I hate to sit in like silence, like somebody's over there and it's just like, oh, should I have my phone up? So what should I be doing in this moment when they're drawing this? Like it's just like, eh, I don't know.
It's just not your thing. That's all
Yeah,
right.
just a whole thought that goes into this whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah. You're hysterical. Oh my gosh. I have really enjoyed this time. Real quick. Okay, so one of the things that I know not everybody who listens to this
Mhm.
has the opportunity to walk into your office, your
Mhm.
amazing office, and
Thank
see
you.
you as a patient. But I know that you have. I mean, you wrote like 52 books last year or something like that. I mean, well, it was what, 3? I mean, who
It was
does
3.
that?
Okay, it was
Who
3,
does
but
that?
but see, that's the thing. That's what I was telling you. Like, I feel like people need to learn something, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of, like I like to read books too. That's one of the things I like to read. I like to stay on my bed and read. I don't watch TV a lot. I
Yeah.
like to read just because I just want to use my own imagination, right?
Right.
So, like, even if let's say like whatever happened on TV, I like to read about it instead of watch it because I want to put my own reaction to it and just whatever I want to do to it. So
Sure.
that's what happens in the book thing though. The one the very first book that I wrote, which is Overcoming Dental Anxiety, was just about just me talking to me as a patient. And
Okay.
so what I did with that, I made it like it is a workbook. I kind of
Oh,
wanted to give people the power to say, okay, this is what I give a scenario as to like how that can be a thing, and I let you say how that can be a thing for you. Because I think that um once you overcome it, you can come to the dentist. Like, and because of that, I get like patients who haven't been to the dentist in a long time because of that. And and so I feel like it will help people really overcome by writing it down and then bringing it and we'll talk about it.
yeah.
I give it away in my office sometimes just because I wanted people to just go home and there are questions at the end of it that says this is what you can ask. Like
Okay.
this is how we can make you feel better so that you can read, okay, so they said they have this. Can I ask for that? Can I ask for that? Just to empower you to be able to get through this dental thing because it is important. It's really important. I can't stress this dentistry thing um, harder enough. You know what? When you have your insurance and your insurance says go to your physician once and go to your dentist twice, I think they just say we're twice important. Okay. So can we just get over the fear and do this thing? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
Well,
people go,
that's
I don't like this, I don't like this. We don't always have to do things that we like. Who likes to do pap smear?
right. Right.
Oh, we do it anyway.
Right.
or
Yeah.
this book thing I'm talking about. Like, who likes to check their
Yeah.
book? But we have to
No
do
one,
this thing.
yeah, no one likes flattened boobs in a mammogram. That's,
You know what I mean?
that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah,
But we
that's a
still
good
have
point.
to do these things. So I just want to get people over to the point where we can at least take care of this whole issue. Because the key thing is both beauty and health.
Right. Well, and I think too, I don't understand a whole lot about like neuroscience, but I think that there's a whole lot of power in writing things down. The more I'm learning,
Exactly. Yeah.
and about really kind of changing the neurological structure in your brain and overcoming a lot of stuff. So I think that that's a brilliant idea. We will post that link in the show notes for people who want to get that. And then if otherwise, if people want to get a hold of you, can you just kind of real quickly say how they can contact you, and then we'll put those in the show notes as well.
Yeah, so you can go through my office. Like if you ever call my office when no one is there, I would answer you back. I will call you back. But
Okay.
I'm on Facebook a lot. So if you go Chi Ember, Facebook, message me, anything, I will answer you. And unlike other doctors that have people market for them, anything Chi Family Dental, anywhere, Google, anywhere, you click on it, is on this phone.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
I still systematically answer it. I have the time that I will sit down and look at it and answer it.
That's good. I need to learn. But
it will be answered within the same day. It may not be within the same minute, but it will be answered within the same day.
Wow, that's great. Okay, Dr. Chi, thank you for your time. This has been a lot of fun. Who knew talking about teeth and about dental health could be so much fun?
Right?
You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Amy. Appreciate it.
I mean, seriously, wasn't that just like sitting down and having coffee with one of your friends? Though I guess maybe she was drinking tea. I don't really know. I had so much fun with that conversation. I hope you did too. If you or someone you love has dental anxiety, make sure you go grab her book. The link is in the show notes. Don't forget to get your download, How to Enjoy Shame-Free Health by Breaking 8 Rules, at gracedhealth.com/bad rules. Also, is there someone you know whom today's conversation would serve? If so, I would love it if you would share this with them or on social media. If you haven't subscribed to the show, I also invite you to click that button, subscribe, so you can find your own Graced Health each week. That really helps the show. What's the one simple thing I want you to remember? I feel like I should give you a teeth-related answer, but what I really pulled from this conversation with Dr. Chi was her decision to celebrate herself. When she was interested in something, she just went for it. So my one simple thing is pick one way to celebrate yourself today. Okay, that is all for today. Go out there and have a graced day.